This is going to be a video on why not to bring a vintage moped to Scooter City in Winnipeg, Manitoba. This is a motorbike moped, and this is the engine. Well, this is the carburetor. Now, if you know mopeds, you'll notice this is not the stock carburetor. Now what happened here is a guy got a really minty moped as a gift with an exceptionally minty carburetor with it, attached to the moped as it should be, and likely functioning almost as it should. He brought it to Scooter City, and they told him that they would put a new carburetor on it, and he thought nothing of it. So Scooter City put a PHVA carburetor on it. This is the original carburetor. As you can see, it almost looks new. They gave it back to him without the carburetor needle. And the top of the carburetor is zip tied to one of the tabs here. To one of the side cover tabs. I already cut that zip tie. And I already cut one of the two big zip ties that was holding the carburetor on. If you look at the carburetor where it's supposed to be clamped onto the engine, you can actually see a crack about 1 millimeter wide in between the hose. It's not even clamped on. If you know anything about motorbicanes, this is a variated moped. And this engine, the entire engine is going to tilt backwards when it variates. So this carburetor is going to be crushed. It has even less space than it has here. This is the other side of the engine. Now you can see this carburetor. PHVA 17.5. You might not be able to read it with my shitty camera. So it's a 17mm carburetor, and this bike came stock with a 14mm. So they took a 17mm clamp style carburetor, or spigot style carburetor, and clamped it onto a 14 or 12mm clamp style intake. On top of that, the original carburetor has a cable choke, where that cable that you can see in the background is still connected to the top of the other carburetor. That's the choke cable. This carburetor, the PHVA, has an electronic choke, which rather than trying to connect or trying to figure out or swapping for a manual choke, Scooter City simply cut the wires. So there's no choke on this bike anymore. To the air filter. As you can see here, it has a foam air filter crushed into the frame. And now that I look, I can... And yeah, I just wanted to get this out there. I mean, look at this beautiful zip tie job to hold this carburetor on. That's garbage. And they charged this guy $60 for the carburetor. And God knows how much they charged him for labor. I didn't even get that information, because to be honest, it would just make me kind of sad. So yeah, I'll check in later possibly, or I'll at least get a little clip of this thing running the way it should when it's done. And rusty old hose clamps too. So, good news is, it doesn't look like they tampered with the intake. They use the worst fuel filter and just the worst shit. On further inspection, the PHVA that they put on this bike has 3 what appear to be sheet metal screws screwed into the side of it. Why? God fucking knows. Well, at least they plugged the vacuum or oil intake. Fucking morons.